was not where his pain came from. His pain came from his spiritual suffering. His pain came from the fact that his father turned his back on him and could not look at him. His pain came from the emotion of knowing your eyes when you looked at him and knowing your heart when you looked at him. And knowing that you can do nothing on your own. His pain came from you. And nobody else has ever had to endure that pain. I saw a thing today, almost sent it to Will. It said, pray for your pastor because he carries the burdens of many. Jesus didn't carry the burdens of many.
Oh.
Jesus carried the burdens of all. Jesus carried the burdens that people don't want to even acknowledge. Jesus carried the burdens of people who spit on him. Jesus carried the burdens of people who don't even know who he is. And that's where his true pain and suffering starts and finishes. You can be a tough man and say, I could endure this. But I would rather endure this than to know that my dad couldn't look at me. Than to know that everything I did could be pushed aside and told it doesn't matter. I don't care what you went through. You can say you did that for me, but you didn't do that for me. You're not even real. Every day, people look Jesus in the face and say, I don't believe and I don't care. If you're here tonight and you've never looked at this like this, if I pointed out even one thing that you've never thought about, then I've done exactly what needed to be done. Because when we make things more real, and that's what I keep stressing to the kids, the more real we make this Bible, the more real we make His Word, the more real He becomes in our lives, then the more real we can make Him to everybody we come in contact with. And that's the only reason we're here. If you're going through life for any reason other than showing people who Jesus Christ is, you're missing your whole point of existence. When Jesus looked at you and said, I did this for you. I didn't do this for Will. I didn't do this for Tyler. I didn't do this for Peanut. Although He did, but He told them that when He was talking to them. I did this for you, individually. They always say He would have done it if you were the only one. Once you come to that realization, and once you accept Him for who He is, and who He wants to be in your life, then everything should change. And if it doesn't change, then did you really talk to Him? Did you really see Him? Did you see this for what it really was? This was a one-time for all sacrifice. Blood and animal sacrifices didn't stop until approximately AD 64, 65, somewhere like that. Before it was completely understood, hey, we don't have to keep doing this. Because there was so much tradition and so much past that people still thought they had to cling to. Still thought they had to do. But then finally people got it. They really understood that this is it. This is all I need. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to be anything else. I just have to say yes to this. I don't have to go hang on that cross. I don't have to get pierced through the wrist. I don't have to get flayed in the back. All I've got to do is say yes to Him. Because He already did it for you. Eternal life lies on the other side of the question. Do you accept this? Do you accept my Son? Says the Father. If you say yes, your eternal life starts right that second.
Mm-hmm.
And if it didn't, you're missing out. Because the second you say yes to Jesus Christ, you die.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait to get put in the grave to see heaven. You died the second you said yes. And He was born again in you. But if you say no, then you have to wait for the grave. And why do I say that? I say that because if you say no, God is faithful and just.
Mm-hmm.
And He may give you one more chance to answer that same question. And He may give you one more chance to answer that same question. And He may give you one more chance to answer that same question. But once He's done asking,
Mm-hmm.
then there is no eternal life. There is only eternal damnation. There is only eternal suffering. And this suffering seems horrible. But even this suffering only lasted a day. The suffering that you endure if you say no to Jesus Christ lasts forever. Which is a thing we can't even wrap our head around. How long is forever? Well, it's thousands and thousands of years. No, it's not. You want to put a number on something. There is no end, just as there was no beginning. Time is a picture to God. He's already seen the start. He's already seen the finish. He is outside time. We can't even begin to think what that is. But one day we'll get to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
One day we'll get to ask Him all the questions that we have. What did that really feel like? Did you ever just think, man, all I got to do is blink at you, and I could, put you out? Did it ever even cross your mind to say, I've had enough? Did you ever want to just say, Daddy, come get me down? I changed my mind. They're not worth it.
Mm.
But He stayed. It says He could have called 10,000 angels. All it would have taken was a word. But He opened not His mouth. He was the ultimate sacrifice for you and me. Miss Carol, if you'll come and play.